After being onboarded with the Dispatch It app since September 2022, today is January 3rd, 2023, and I am now seeing my first Dispatch It pickup and delivery opportunity. And you're coming with me on this segment of the Gig Geezer. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, hey, thanks for coming by. And if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, hey, thanks for coming back. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. As you see here again, I'm in my new workspace, which is my cargo van. As I mentioned in the intro, I am now working my first Dispatch It order delivery opportunity. And I am actually around the corner from the pickup area from this business to where I'll be taking it about 15 minutes away from here to a drop-off location in the next county in Lexington County. I'm actually in the shadows of downtown Columbia, South Carolina. And again, I'm going to Lexington County. In fact, I'm going to an area where my very first group health insurance customer was located. It's not far from his place. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What's interesting about the Dispatch It app, I actually saw some discussion of this on another content creator's upload, in which he mentioned about, hey, here's some other gig apps that you may be able to make some money. Well, at the time, I got onboarded, but the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area was not an active market, and so it wasn't until October, the first week in October, in which it became active. But it's taken 3 months before I've seen an actual order, and they came about the orders came through. I got 2 of them. In fact, the pickup location, the pickup opportunity that I have tomorrow morning will be at this same place, but it'll be going to another part in Lexington County. But the actual orders came through, I want to say, about less than 2 hours ago. So we're going to see what it's like. Obviously, I have the requisite vehicle capacity with this cargo van, and so you're going to come with me on this particular order, and we're going to talk about it. All right, I am about 10 minutes into my drive to this drop-off location with this Dispatch It order. I had an interesting conversation with the warehouse guy who actually filled me in on a lot of things that's going to help me out in the long run. Now, when I showed up in the back, he's like, "Oh, if you wouldn't mind, just move your van up about 50 feet, and I'll come down with the forklift and hook you up." And I'm like, "Hey, all right, that's cool, man." So I maneuver my van to where all you had to do is come down the ramp. In fact, as you see in the back of my window, out of my window in this B-roll here, you see him driving back up into the warehouse. So he brings down this what's called a skid. The skid's dimensions are 4 foot wide by 8 foot long. So that's like the equivalent of 2 standard sized pallets. Now, in this segment of the Gig Geezer, I mentioned that this cargo van can easily handle 2 pallets, and I think that is the total capacity for this cargo van, 2 pallets. Tomorrow, I am scheduled to have another Dispatch It pickup from the same place, and he said though that the items that I may be picking up, and I say may be picking up tomorrow because they are larger and heavier. And the first thing he asked me, "Do you have another vehicle?" So, "Do you have like a flatbed or a flatbed truck, which would be like a box truck with just flat, or a larger box truck?" I don't have neither of those. I just got this van, right? But anyway, he says, "I may have to cancel that one because it's larger. It's not so much as your van can't handle it; it's the customers. So he went on to tell me about how they're problem customers, and they don't want any issues where they may try to have them to eat the cost or what have you. And that's one of the things that I understand, that is why we have cargo insurance when you do like interstate transporting as well, because that's in case something happens to the cargo that you're carrying, then you got insurance coverage to kind of cover your ass. Hopefully you never have that to happen. But anyway, I am probably about 6-7 minutes away from the drop-off location. Now, I do want to take this time to kind of give a little clarity on the last Gig Geezer segment, in which I mentioned that this van's engine, 6-cylinder, 3.7 liter engine. I've said that it was used in the F-150. The F-150's got options of 6-cylinder and 8 cylinders. The 6-cylinder is the EcoBoost, and so it would have this engine, this type of engine in it. The Ford Edge has this engine. The Ford Explorer has this engine, as well as the former Ford Taurus models. They all have this Duratec 6-cylinder engine. Now, while I'm at it, since we're not quite there at the drop-off location, as you see on the inset, the app works pretty similar to any other gig app, in which you slide to arrive, and then once you get to the location, you slide to arrive again, and then I'll show you once we drop off the order what else entails with this order. Now, the other thing, when you do pick up orders, typically, if they do it right, they're going to give you 2 copies of the order. There's the receipt for the customer, and then there is for the driver a bill of lading. And that bill of lading is used for our documentation, especially those who may be doing interstate stuff and may have what's called a US DOT number, a dot number, where you have to document a lot of shit. A lot of shit has to be documented with the US DOT stuff. And so keeping this stuff kind of keeps you out of trouble as well with the feds. But anyway, I'll get back with you once we drop off this order. It was a pretty smooth experience here. What's interesting is that I am at a place where they make all your ATM machines. I mean, all the bank. I mean, I'm looking at Wells Fargo, County Bank, Synovus. Yeah, they make all the ATM machines, man. So the plastic was for them. Now the actual process. When I showed up, a guy saw who I was and saw the van, and so he went inside and got the shipping person. And he comes out and he says, "Okay, let me get a forklift." I handed him the invoice, and he checked off on it like, "Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for." And so he got a working forklift. And as you see on the B-roll, he maneuvered it in there, maneuvered it up to the van. And it took him 2 attempts though, but he was able to get it out of the van, and then he went inside, signed off on it. Now here's where the app comes in now. I explained it, at least initially, just a few moments ago, where it's kind of like any other app. But what makes this different is that you have to show proof of delivery. And so what it is, they sign this invoice. What I try to do is make heads or tails of the guy's signature. So it asks for the person's name, and then it asks for a picture. So it asks for proof of delivery. So I took a picture of the actual invoice, the signed invoice on his part, in which he received the order. And so you put the person's name in there. I uploaded a picture, and then I hit complete delivery. So now the question is, how much did I make? I made $32.09 for less than an hour's work. Probably about 35-40 minutes of work. That's not bad. If that was DoorDash, I may make $32 on one order, but it may take me an hour. Instacart, it could take me from the moment that I accept the order to the moment that I drop it off. It could be an hour and a half. Just don't know. But it'll be interesting to see if there are other opportunities that come my way on this app. Now, the thing that I noticed with dispatching, at least when I saw certain communications to us, for the most part, if you accept the order, they're expecting you to complete the order. There is some leeway, but I'm not at this juncture versed enough to articulate what are their requirements. What I do recall is that they pretty much expect for you to complete the order if you accept it. Now, when you get the order, you got 45 seconds to look it over They feel that that's enough time for you to look at the order, see how much you're going to get paid, where you're picking it up from, and where you're going, the miles and all that stuff, and then you can either accept or decline, or just don't respond at all. One other thing about this drop-off location is that I've been in this particular business park previously, and that was during the summer. That was during, I want to say, July, when I delivered that order to the business that's just right down the road from it. And so this is not the first time that I've come over here. There's not many places in the greater Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area that I've not gone to. What ends up happening is that I just refamiliarize myself with places and certain landmarks and all. In this particular case, back in July, I delivered that catering order to a Starbucks installation in this same business park area. So that's all I have for this segment of the Gig Geezer. Hopefully you get something out of it. You see, once again, me working the cargo van. As far as dispatch it is concerned, the onboarding process, I don't recall it being lengthy. Or time consuming. The question is just once you get onboarded, whether you're in a live market for order opportunities. In my case, it was 4 months after I've been onboarded, and 3 months after this market had gone live before I seen something. So, again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer, or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.